All right, y'all. I'm gonna try to do another little devlog here. I got a request from NoFace to add a couple of continue points to the practice mod, so I'm just gonna kind of walk through how I would go about doing this. This one might not be the most interesting because this is a little bit of rinse and repeat, so I kind of know where to go already. But there's one part of it that is a little bit new. We'll get into that later. I'm gonna start with the easy one first. So No Face was saying maybe like a robot boosted checkpoint in Spider Cave would be useful. So let's start with that. So all the checkpoints I know are defined in levelinfo.gc. So you can see here I'm in the swamp level. Let me collapse this a little bit. So this is the swamp level definition, and it has a list of continue points. So this is one continue point, swamp start, and it has a position, the direction Jack faces, and then similar things for where the camera should be. And then this is which levels should be loaded and whether they should be displayed or not. And then here's another one for dock 1, cave 1, etc. So first let's find cave. Now robot room is robo cave. So it's pulling up. It looks like I hit some checkpoints. This is in main cave, so let's keep going down. There's dark cave, and here's robo cave. Now robo cave only has these 2 checkpoints, so we'll add a third one. So I'll just copy paste robo cave bottom, and let's call it. We'll just call it robo cave boosted. I don't think there's too many boosteds people are doing in here. I mean, there's the other route to the top, but this is the infamous one. Anyways, so cool, we have a placeholder for it. Now we need to get a actual position and coordinates and everything. So I will just take Jack to robot room. And we'll just fly up here. Alright. What do we want to do about this cell is the question, because this is going to be annoying, I feel like, if you're trying to do the boosted and it's in your face. I mean, you can collect it, but that's a little bit annoying. So maybe we'll auto-collect the cell for you. But anyways, we'll get to that in a moment. Let's just set up the robot room boosted here. I don't want to spoon feed people too much, so I'm going to make them set up, I think. Or should I set them all up, toes hanging off and everything? Hey, I hit it first try, let's go. I wasn't really sure if you could make it back. It makes sense you can since it's higher, but anyways, I think just like right here is good for the positioning. People can adjust it further. So we'll just pause here so there's not a ton of background noise. So now I have my REPL here. I've already MI'd before I started recording. So let's just connect to the game. And then there's this really nice function, TRSQ arrow continue point. So this will take a root transform from some actor or something and turn it into a continue point, and then I think it just uses the camera's positioning by default. So you do have to give it a root transform, which is basically just like the position of something, the thing in memory that holds all the position information. So we're going to give it Jack's. Jack is target, so we just give it target root, and you'll see it prints out this little thing giving you all the coordinates and everything. Now I've modified this TRSQ continue point function a little bit. Normally it prints out these values in meters, but it doesn't actually give you the meters text and the little X prefix, and so you have to like type a bunch of stuff to get it the way you really need it for here. So you'll notice here there's no meters, and that's because these are the raw numbers that the units are stored in internally, which is like 4096 times whatever the meters would be. So like 1 meter is 4096 in this raw number format. Anyways, so what I just did here is I created this sample continue point from Jack's position and my camera's position, and now I just want to use this in place of my robot boosted information. So these first 2 lines are Jack's position and Jack's rotation. And then similar thing for the camera. And it does also give you the levels that are currently loaded. In our case, we kind of borrowed this from a RoboCave checkpoint already, so we shouldn't need to modify that, but you can see Visnik is Rob, level 0 is main cave. It actually has display special, which is kind of interesting, but it doesn't matter. We can leave it as display. I'm pretty sure that won't matter for us. The last thing I want to do here is, so something I found out after making this practice mod is that the list of continue points, is iterated through when it needs to do checks like find nearest checkpoint and all that kind of stuff. So stuff like idle deload can actually pick up these new checkpoints if I don't give it a way to ignore them. And there's a pretty easy way I came up with to ignore them. Let's find another one. Yeah. So each checkpoint has a flags attribute that you can set. Let's try to find a vanilla one. It'll be a little more interesting. Let's go to like game start. I know. Yeah. So like for instance, training warp has the warp continue flag, and this is how it tells the game, oh, find a warp gate and give Jack the warp gate animation when it comes out of this, when he chooses this checkpoint. Game start's the same thing. It also has a special game start flag that surely does something important. You can see Village 1 also has the warp. Well, yeah, this is the warp one I was thinking about, and then there's a couple special ones for different cutscenes and things. Anyways, long story short, I extended this. Oh no, I lost my spot. RoboCave boosted. Okay, so I extended this flag system and just added a continue flags speedrun. We can go take a look at that real quick. So it's a bit field. You went 32, so there's 32 bits to use. Vanilla game only used, as you can see, what is this, like 12 or so, something like that. So I added a few here. Speedrun for just any of the new checkpoints I added so they don't get picked up during the idle deload logic. And then I also have some flut and racer ones that will auto mount you on flut or on the zoomer. So this one's for like Citadel hops, this one's for like flut, boggy, oob thing. Anyways, so we just need to make sure we set this on this so that we don't mess up any idle deload or anything like that. So let's save that. The other thing we need to do is add it to all the menus and everything. And so this is a little bit of overhead. Let's start with... Oh, I am not in speedrunner mode on the practice mod. I did change this, right? Yeah, okay. So this is our list of all the custom checkpoints we've added for different skips and things. And we need to add a new entry here for robot boosted. So I'm just going to search for one of these strings because I always forget what all I need to change here. Yeah, here we go. So that's the checkpoint. All right, so there's a new text entry, so we'll add a new one here. So this whole text system, it's pretty nice actually. It's how all the translations work. So in theory, if somebody wanted to create translations for all of these and change wet feet in Italian to something that makes more sense in Italian, they could do that. Everything is like bound to this identifier, and then there's a game custom text NUS. This is the default language that's used if there isn't a translation available in the language you have selected. And this is where we just add all of these. These are the vanilla ones, sorry. Yeah, here's the custom ones. So we'll add a new entry here. This is the index 1713, or it's not really, index is maybe misleading because it's hex, but that's the value, the underlying value that we're going to use. And we are doing robot boosted. And I'll come back and do the other one, it's fine. So let's copy this, make it 1713, and we will call it robot boosted. Cool. All right. Right, we have speedrun practice options. Yes, we need to add one of these. Robot boosted. Okay, And I'm going to copy this. So these are little helper functions we write for each of these checkpoints to do custom behavior. Most of them are pretty straightforward, and they just set like the checkpoint that you're going to go to, and then they reset common settings. Sometimes we need to do something special. So like for beach, the no LTS section, this is one that BDub asked for, coming from the Pelican, grabbing blue eco, going up and doing blockers, and then trying to get the scout fly with the blue eco still back down on the beach. For this one, we needed to do a little bit of setup, unlock the blue vent, and maybe kill Pelican. I can't remember if I actually killed Pelican, but definitely unlock the blue vent and give you blue eco on the start, because that's how you would have it in the run. Anyways, long story short, we need to create a new one of these for our robot boosted. I'm going to copy and paste robot boosted since I'm typing it 100 times. Checkpoint is called Robo Cave boosted, though, I believe. And we don't need to get on a zoomer. Let's see. Do we usually close tasks here, or we do it in the post init? I think we do it in the post init. Okay. So I'm going to bring this back and yeah, here we go. So this is the post init that we do. So the whole idea with these checkpoints is you respawn Jack at some place, and then there may be additional setup you need to do after the game has been reset and you actually spawn at the checkpoint. You can't do this sometimes before, or like during the reset process it gets messed up. So we have this hook that comes in after Jack actually spawns, and we can run a couple extra things. And that's where we give blue eco, where we close, for instance, the blue eco switch in jungle to unlock the vents for that no LTS route that I was talking about earlier. Anyways, we're going to create a new one of these because we're going to get rid of that cell. Let's call this robot boosted post init. And we are going to close. Okay, so we need to figure out the name of the game task for the polls cell. So let's look for the game task enum and go down to cave. And I'm assuming it's cave swing poles that we want. Sounds like the right fit. Now, if we want to be absolutely certain about this, what we can do is reset the game so we get the cell back. So let's get rid of target. Now, if we go to actor, we can see this is fuel cell. Why are there two fuel cells here? Excuse me. Oh, sorry. Fuel cell 56 is the name. Fuel cell 82 is information about the type of collectible and the value that it gives. So it's saying it's a fuel cell type, and then 82 is the game task ID. You can also get this information if you go to Entity, refresh the list, and then you pick fuel cell from here. Oh my god, there's a lot of stuff in this room. A lot of money. Maybe I should have gone top down instead of bottom up. 56. Yeah, and then you can see task, cave swing poles. Cool, so we did pick the right one. I just realized y'all can't see the code. There we go. Okay, so so that's all we need to do in our post init is get rid of that cell for the swing poles so it's not in the way. And now if we go back here, we're going to assign this robot boosted post init as our next post init when you actually choose robot boosted to start a run from there. Okay, we're probably missing something else for the text, I would think. Yes, we need this option. This is just when you choose it in the menu, making sure we start the run the right way. Kind of boilerplate at this point. We got that one. Okay, and then we need to add it to the menu. So let's see, robot is going to be before snowy, so I think here makes sense. Practice robot boosted. And then there's one last thing, which is mapping the text to the option and later the option to the actual function. Yeah, this is probably not the most efficient way to do this, but I'm not going to re-architect this whole thing right now. Cool. I think that should be, I realize again, you guys can't see, sorry. Maybe I should hide the game like that while I'm doing code. Anyways, cool. So I think we're ready to test this. One problem is we've extended a couple of enum definitions here in the header. So we've changed speedrun practice option. We've added a new option. I think game text, we added a new option as well. So if we try to just MI or MNG right now, it's going to complain that we're redefining something. Yeah. After you scroll up through 300 lines of game tasks or text IDs, inconsistent type definition. So there's no real way around this. You just need to reload. I'm going to actually close my game first. Reload and rebuild. And luckily Jack 1 is pretty quick, so don't have to wait around too long. That is one of the unfortunate downsides when you extend these enums like this. You do have to do a little bit of waiting. Okay. Cool. So let's dive right into it. Robot boosted. It didn't kill the cell. Did it give me credit for the cell? It did. So what am I missing? I used the close task helper. If I reset actors, does it disappear? No. Huh. Yeah, I definitely should have gone top down, I think. Well, maybe not. A lot of crates. A lot of crates. Cave swing poles. Weird. Well, good thing is I know another way to get rid of this cell. Whoops. Just checking to see if I've done this already. Hold on. That's what my helper does, right? Close specific task, need resolution. Yeah. There's no difference there, right? No. Huh. Well. I mean, we can do something like, oops. What is it, like set entity perm. Yeah, set or clear status. Dead true. I don't think that's what I want though. What does cleanup for death do again? This thing. OBJ is the process drawable though, which I may not have. Is there something this uses internally? It's just setting the entity perm status. Okay. Well, we need to go to extra perm status, mark it dead. I don't know if this is enough to kill it right away, though, is it? I don't remember. Whoops. Yeah, I think you need a reset actor. Yeah, and then it's gone. So I don't know if this will work in post-init. This might need to happen first, but let's give it a shot. So here I used MNG because I didn't redefine things, and I only changed things within the engine code, which is what MNG stands for. If you change any code in levels, like level-specific code, like the Misty Cannon or something like that, you would need to do MI. It wouldn't be picked up in MNG like this. Just waiting for OBS to catch my display. Okay. But if I reset actors, then it's gone. Okay, so I do need to do this earlier. So what if we do this after the init? So what I'm thinking is, I'm not sure if this will persist because the initialize I know spawns a process to do the reset of the game. I'm just not sure if this happens, the reset game happens here immediately, or if it would effectively happen on the next frame after this is already run. But I guess we're going to find out. I did remove it from here, right? Okay, yeah. Sorry, I just lost where I was. Robot boost. Yeah. Okay. So let's try this again and see. Yeah, like I thought. That was too early. So I think we need to do this and then a reset actors. It's a bit of a hack, but whoops. Let's see. How do we do reset actors? It's like reset. What does the debug menu do? Oh, wait, actually, I can just let's do this actually. Let's get the process instead of the entity. And then is it process entity status dead, and we're setting it to true. Let's go back for cleanup for death. Is there something else happening in there? No, okay. And I think I can just call deactivate on it. Oh, I need to check that the cell exists. Otherwise, we'll be running that code on F. Sorry, you all could not see that very well. So previously I was getting the entity, which the way I like to explain this is like entity is like the idea of an actor, and the process is the actual actor that's been spawned in some level. So previously we were setting the entity's status to dead, and the problem was that the actor had already been spawned when we did that, and so it doesn't immediately kill the actor. The actor can go back and check its entity status if it so chooses. Depends on the actor's code. In this case, apparently fuel cells do not do that. They only check it on initialize, it seems, when they first spawn in. And so that's why the reset actors did work, but it was just, it's too late by the time you spawn in. So what I'm trying to do now is actually grab the process itself. I'm going to still set the entity status. I did it a slightly different way since we have the process, and I need to pass in the cell here. Oops. That will still just set the entity status. It won't necessarily kill the process, and so that's what the deactivate call is here. That should actually kill the cell process. And then the next frame, the code's going to loop through all the entities to figure out if there's any it needs to spawn. It should see that this cell's entity status is dead, and therefore it won't try to respawn it on the next frame. If we just deactivated it, I think it would try to respawn it immediately on the next frame. I think. So let's test out my logic here. Oh, I have bad code. Function argument 0 got a function string process when expecting a process. What does that mean? Oh, I did my process by ename call incorrectly. Sorry. Come on, OBS. All right, cool. Nice. There we go. So you can get Blue Eco if you so choose, if that's how you're doing your robot boosted. Yep. It's weird you see the cell there for a second. This is good practice for me though. Too late, yep. There we go. I always like delay my spin too much. I don't know what my issue is. Oh. There we go. Cool. Alright, so that's one down. It's a little weird the cell flickers in like that, but I think I'm going to leave it like that. Cool. So that is one down. I'll show one more thing that's kind of nice. Excuse me. The continue list here actually is like dynamically built, so it should actually, it'll show up in this list as well. You don't need to, you do get that for free. The one in the speedrun menu here, we have to add the text because it's also formatted a little bit differently. The other one's like the internal name. Cool. That's one checkpoint down. The second checkpoint the no-faced asked for was after claw, if you did lava walk, having a drunk cam practice. So this is the one that I was saying is going to be a little bit more complicated because I know I need to get claw into some particular state to trigger the drunk cam. And I don't know what that is offhand. I mean, I'm sure we can look at his states and see which one is, we'll be able to tell which one gives us drunk cam pretty easily. But it'll be a little bit of exploration here. So I'm going to start the same way by just creating the checkpoint itself. I think what I'll do is put you like just after you ledge grab up after doing lava walk. Oh. Okay, there we go. So I think I'll give you a checkpoint like right here, because you would need to do this movement while in drunk cam too, which I don't know, maybe someone wants to practice the whole shebang. So yeah, I'll just put you right here. I don't think it's super important. So let's again connect, and we will again use our handy TRSQ to continue point. Now let's look for, whoops, Ogre. Ogre is the mountain pass level. Here we go. Has 3 normal checkpoints and our 2 lava walk ones. Why? Oh, stalag hops. Yeah, sorry. I was thinking this was citadel hops. Yeah, stalag hops. Cool. So we're going to add one more here. And this will be drunk cam. Speed run, yes. Yeah, I don't think we need to set anything else up. We just need to set the position. So this next little section is going to be quite repetitive as last time. So I'm not going to explain every little thing I'm doing. We're just configuring the checkpoint parameters right now. Okay. And let's go back to game text and we'll add a new entry here. Let's add it on the goal side. Okay. Let's see, we need to add an entry here. And drunk cam here. Okay, let's do speedruns H first. We need to add a new option, drunk cam. And then we will definitely need a post in it. Okay, and we have one more piece of glue down here. Copied the, oh, no, I didn't. Copying something new. I need to get like a utility that lets me copy multiple things to clipboard. I'd probably actually use the heck out of it, but too lazy to change my workflows. Whoops. All right, and then this one's going to become our drunk cam post in it. Excuse me. Let's see. We probably want to close clause intro task, and then we need to probably do something else to actually get clause fight to start. So where's close task helper? Yeah. What we want to do is, I'm not sure what task status we need. I'm guessing it's introduction, but we'll find out here in a second. And I think it's Ogre Boss is the game task. We can again go back here, game task. Sorry, I'll hide this so you can see. Ogre Boss, yeah, cool. So we got that right, but we need to figure out what status it is. And we don't need to do this cell bit. I'll put a to do here. To do trigger claw and drunk cam. Okay, so let's actually go back to Ogre start, and we'll reset the game here. Oh, okay. Let's not go to that first. Okay, so if I look at our task list now, let's go need introduction and look for Ogre. Okay, so there is an Ogre boss for intro. It doesn't use need reminder A. It does use need reminder. Does not use need reward, and it certainly uses need resolution. This is the one that'll actually, whether you have the cell or not. What about need hint? Okay, it looks like we do have a need hint. And then unknown. No, unknown's not used. Okay, cool. So none of those are used. None of those are set right now. If we go to Ogre start and trigger the intro. Okay, that took a while. That was weird. Now, let's go back to the task status. So need hint is done. Need introduction is not. Okay, so we want to close need hint here, actually. Oh, you guys could not see anything I was just doing in the game. I'm sorry. So I'll explain it briefly. I went through these different task statuses, and you can see Ogre Boss does use need hint, does not use unknown, does use need introduction, doesn't use reminder A, does use reminder, doesn't use reward speech, does use resolution. I checked all these before we went into Claw. None of them were set, and I wanted to see which one got closed by doing the Claw intro cutscene, and it's need a hint, and that's the only one that gets triggered. So that's what we're going to close. That's the status we're going to close here in our drunk cam posting it. Let's see if just triggering his fight see if that changed any of these. I don't think it will. No. Yeah. Okay. So we want to instead look at Ogre Boss and see what state he's in. Oh, and I have a distance check on. So there's this nice feature. If you press left alt and go to settings in the top bar here of the OpenGOAL window, sorry, it's really small on the screen on the capture, but there's filters you can set, and you can do a distance check, which is pretty nice. I like to use that. I'll probably set it around like 50 or something like that. For right now, I'm going to turn that off, and I'm going to add a text filter and search for Ogre Boss. This is a pretty nice tool because you could search for like just particle effects. You could look for, that's Jack 2, just orbs, which would be money, which there aren't any. You could look for eco. You can see where the yellow ecos are. But yeah, we're looking for Ogre Boss. So right now he's in Ogre Boss stage 1. Now if we go here now, that looks like drunk cam to me. Alright, now my question is, yeah, he's still in stage 1, so I think maybe we just need to get him into stage 1. That's my hope. So, let's go back to the code. I know Ogre Boss has his own file. And let's just search for stage 1. Sorry, one sec. Okay, so I suspect, let's do this, reset game, and let's go back to Ogre start. So he's in Ogre Boss intro right now. Oh, I guess this makes sense. It's intro, and then it's going to go waiting for player. Yeah, and then we'll trigger him, and he's either going to, if we go, oh, he despawns actually. Okay, that's kind of funny. So if you despawn him, he originally spawns in idle, and then goes wait for player, and if you go too far out, it goes back to idle, which I don't know what the difference is, but there's some difference apparently. So we want to see, I mean, I'm already here in the code. Oh, I realize again, y'all couldn't see the gameplay, sorry. All I was showing is he's in wait for player right now. I haven't triggered him to start the fight. If I walk over here, he'll go idle and then eventually despawn. But he goes from idle to waiting for player, I guess, when you get close enough or something. I don't know. But what we really care about is when does he go from wait for player to stage 1, which is when the drunk cam kicks in. And so, yeah, I've already got it here in the code, but we're looking at the wait for player state, which you can see is pretty simple. The main code is just doing an idle loop for the animation. And then transcode. Trans is I'm not going to get into too much trying to explain what trans versus code is, but this is sort of like where changes to the object may happen. I mean, this can happen in code too. I've seen this kind of used interchangeably, whether the stuff goes in trans or code. But anyways, trans will run every frame, whereas code runs sort of once and is expected to have some sort of suspend so that on the next frame it picks back up and continues looping somewhere. So this idle loop is going to call the animation function and then suspend. So basically every frame it's like, yep, do your next animation. Yep, do your next animation. Yep, do your next animation. And then this code runs every frame and checks if there's any sort of like changes that need to happen. And so this code is saying when target exists, check if players inside the range of the ogre boss. And it sets some value here. I guess this is like a radius probably from the boss's center point. So if you're really close, quote unquote, then it'll trigger stage 1. If, with a further distance out here, if you're still not in that range, that means you're really far away. That's when it goes to idle. And so that's what we saw. Oh, you can't see the screen again, but that's what you saw when I started walking back towards Rock Village. Anyways, what we want to do is make Ogre Boss go to stage 1. There's a few different ways we could do this. There is a go process you could use. So you could do something like go process by ename Ogre Boss 1 and tell it to go Ogre Boss stage 1. So that does work. It's a little hacky and bespoke, and you have to, ensure that this Ogre Boss 1 process exists before you run this code. The other way we could do this, which is a little more, I guess, traditional maybe, is we could set up an event handler for the Ogre Boss, and we could send him an event that says like, hey, trigger phase 1. I think I'm going to implement that because it feels just a little bit cleaner to me. So surely there's another event handler I can copy some code from, right? Yeah, here we go. Cool. All right. Oh, and look at this. It already has a sort of next stage message that's handled. So I'm just going to, I don't care about the platforms part. I just want to go stage 1. And then in my drunk cam post init, in theory, I just need to process by ename. I guess you still need to get the Ogre Boss process, so maybe this isn't that much cleaner, but I don't know. I like using the send event system. It feels like a Naughty Dog way to do it. Oh, and I need to do when make sure that it exists. Cool. Let's see. Did we miss any of the other glue to connect all the menus and everything? We did the text. We did the level info. I think we did progress PC as well. Oh, I need to add it to the menu here. Yeah. Somewhere up here. Here we go. Okay. Let's see. We should put this after. I'm going to move these 2 lava walk ones as well, I think. These should be here before robot boosted. These are just like not in any sort of order through the speed run. I think now they're pretty good. I mean, we have all the LTS and FCS stuff at the front, but I think that's fair because those are kind of like special ones. Snowy Rocket. The 2 frame. Yeah. Wet feet. Why is wet feet way down here? Let's move that up. Okay. I think they're roughly in. No, Stalag Hops is too late. Stalag Hops should be here. Cool. So let's add here Drunk cam. And then here we already had the text to checkpoint or to speedrun option. Yeah. Okay. I think that should be it. Again, we redefined some enums, so we're going to need to reload our, I'll just show it here. It's going to complain again about redefining things because I added a new text entry. So we need to do a reload, rebuild. And now we pray we have a drunk cam checkpoint. Oh, you know what I'm realizing is Claw may not spawn immediately in that waiting for player state, so that event might not get handled. Because I think he's going to be in intro state. Because the entity won't be cleared up in time. Won't be marked, the need hint won't be marked done. So let's actually, well, let's try it once, but I'm pretty sure actually it's not going to work. It's not going to give me drunk cam. Yeah. Claw is still in his intro state, I believe. Or waiting for player, actually. Oh, right. This gets reset if you don't close the window properly. Ogre Boss idle, right? Because I'm too far away. Okay, so we need to change the code a little bit. Let's go back to Ogre Boss. And I think what we'll do is we'll just move this event handling instead of in wait for player. Let's find Ogre Boss idle and give it an event handler. And let's change this. Let's call it go stage 1 just to be explicit. And in the speed runs in our post init, we're going to send it go stage 1. Okay. We didn't redefine any types or anything, so we should be able to just MI. Now I did MI here instead of MNG because Ogre Boss lives in the Ogre level, so MNG would not have picked that up. Okay. Now we pray. Hey, that looks pretty drunk to me. The thing is,
those lurkers must be headed for a detonator at the end of the canyon.
Kira,
if they reach it before you do, they'll blow up the entire pass. You've got to beat them there and destroy the detonator, or it's all over.
Wow, this is not easy. You have to turn so much more than I realized. Wow, trying to get eco with this looks cursed. Oh my goodness. Alright, well, the camera is certainly drunk. I'm not going to practice this too much, I don't think, because this is awful. I'm going to blow up in this section for sure. Oh, still alive somehow. Probably dead with this eco though. Alright, anyways. Enough of me sucking. That's half the fun of working on these though, is trying out random stuff in the game. Cool. Let's see. I think that's it. Anything else I want to clean up here? I just did a full rebuild, so I know that's good. Have the text all set up. Let's make sure it's listed here, I guess. Yeah, okay. I don't think there's anything else for me to do. I did give it a continue flag, right? Yeah, I did. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think that's it then. Awesome. I'm going to close it out here. If y'all have any questions, feel free to leave comments. I'll try to get back to you. If you find these devlog things valuable, let me know. I don't know. People are always asking for like how to get started modding and looking for tutorials and that sort of thing. And I know text tutorials aren't people's favorites, so maybe this video one will be a little bit friendlier for y'all. I don't know. Let me know what y'all think, or if you have tips on how I can improve the whole process. Happy for feedback. All right, I'm gonna shut up now. Later, y'all.